You know, semi-auto rifles, they're great and all, but here's the problem. When we start talking about barrel harmonics, bolt action rifles tend to laugh in their face. Let's talk about it. Now, for the sake of this video, I can only keep it so short. I can't go into detail with everything to be within parameters of the assignment. Now, in order to think about barrel harmonics, think about your lead pencils, right? When you shook them up and down, it kind of looked like a wet noodle, right? So when you fire that rifle, your barrel kind of starts to kind of look like a weird fucking floppy noodle, right? Very minuscule. I mean, and there's vibrations, there's chain reactions, things like that. Again, we're not going to go into detail just for the sake of the course. That being said, these vibrations can slightly affect your accuracy when you're putting rounds downrange. Now, the second question we have here are, what are some firearm characteristics that you believe can be altered to improve barrel harmonics? Now, I firmly believe that things like a composite rifle, you're not going to get the best barrel harmonics. It doesn't hold the rifle very tight, or the barrel very tight. Now, and this is for all intents and purposes clear, but with something like a wood stock, a wood foregrip, you're going to have a lot better barrel harmonics because it's not vibrating as much. And as we discuss our polymer versus, you know, wood and stuff like that, that's known as bedding. This technique involves supporting the barrel along the length and applying steady upward pressure to a single point. Now, we're going to go ahead and include our sources right about here. Two other things that can kind of control barrel harmonics are barrel tuners, and these are small weights that are attached to the rear of the muzzle along the length and apply a steady upward pressure to a single point. Sorry, that is bedding. It's attached to the rear of the muzzle to help control the barrel whip, if you will. The other one is free floating, such as our barrel here. Again, all clear, stuff like that. This technique involves reducing things that interfere with the natural flex of the barrel. So it is basically, you got your 2 points of contact up here, and that's it. Now, my original question was the second one. Using critical thought, what are some firearm characteristics that you believe can be altered to improve barrel harmonics? Now, let's go ahead and use that and dig into the third question here. Were your thoughts on question 2 correct? And what are any other characteristics you missed? Now, my guess was the first one, right? It is in which is holding your barrel. Is it going to be wood? Is it going to be composite? I didn't know anything about adding weights to the rear of the muzzle. What else we got here? Obviously we had free floating, but I didn't realize that had anything to do with precision rifles. Now, when it comes to environmental factors, it can hurt or help barrel harmonics. So if it's too hot, if it's, you know, too cold, too moist outside, things as such. Now, as I mentioned, when the barrel heats up, right, and this is kind of how we deep dive into that just a little. As the temperature increases, the metal in your barrel will expand, changing the way it vibrates when your shot is fired. Also, it'll change the impact on the accuracy on impact. Variations in the barrel harmonics are due to temperature changes, and they can lead to inconsistent bullet placement, affecting your accuracy, obviously. Now, consistency is key, so something that we can utilize or kind of mitigate this is a heavier barrel, maybe.